And we're back on Southeast Texas Weekly to talk about the CIA. Sounds like it's a long, long way away. Really, Southeast Texans, as we talk to them online, on Facebook, and just at the store, have a lot of opinions about this. What are Southeast Texans saying about this matter of remedying, can I say that word, fixing the Central Intelligence Agency? Any way to fix it, Godfrey Leggett?
Well, not without a lot of help. I mean, it needs major overhaul. You know where Mena, Arkansas is, Kevin?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that was an embarkation point for cocaine in this country. The CIA was flying cocaine into Mena, Arkansas for distribution at the East Coast, in Houston, and in the West Coast. That was part of the arms for Contra's deal.
Who was the governor of Arkansas at that time?
Oh, yeah, Clinton, and he knew about it. Okay?
Moving right
no
along.
doubt about it.
I would say I'm just fine with shutting down the CIA if we stop talking about this while Jonathan Gruber is telling everybody if it wasn't for the stupidity of Democratic congressmen, we wouldn't have had Obamacare.
That was an inarticulate term.
Is there
Okay.
something to fix on the CIA? We kid a little bit about it because it seems like such an ethereal topic, you know, interrogation, enhanced interrogation. Is this a major issue for this administration to have picked on? And we all know, guys, that administrations can, by way of publicity, especially with a complicit national media, they have they have the ability to push stories that they want to push and
Or
squash
not
stories
cover
they
stories,
want to
yes.
squash.
Yes.
And that's a reality in America. Is this an issue that should have been brought up, Nathan Buddy Reynolds?
You know, as the CIA does things that probably the American people don't want to know about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that happen in the military and in wartime that the people don't want to know about. It just gets done. When the details come into the public, then an agency or a general comes under heightened scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking
Would you have made a major point of it? They say many of these issues were rectified 5 years ago. They say that this report, the essence of the report, has been out for at least 2 years.
This is still a rogue agency, out of control.
But the reason it came out
somebody
now,
should have put a lid on it and handled it internally, and it would just go away.
the reason it came out now is this is another way to say it's Bush's fault. That's what this is all about. Let's focus on that. Let's don't focus on Jonathan Gruber and what he's saying and
Well,
the
it's
problems
not
with
altogether
Obamacare.
Bush's fault. I'll give you that, but he had some
That's the
responsibility.
point of this investigation.
General Hayden made the point in recent days that after 9/11, nobody was talking about how do we rein in the CIA more. They were only saying, how do we get more out of the
People
CIA?
were mad. They
protect
said,
American
do whatever
cities?"
you got to do to get these guys.
They essentially were saying that, were they not?
And if you take a poll today, the American people say, I don't care.
I
They
got
don't
friends
care
right
about
now that say, let's nuke the
CIA.
whole place over there. Well, yeah, okay, you can't really do that.
To me, that was Al-Qaeda's goal, is to take the freedoms away from the American people. When the government came out with the Patriot Act and the CIA, we as American people lost our freedom.
Well,
to an
now the
extent.
American people agree with you on that one. They don't think that torturing terrorists is a big deal, but losing our freedoms at the airport is a
They don't
big
think
deal.
taking
We
their
lost
belts
our
off and
freedoms.
taking their shoes off is really worth the effort.
That's right.
We're less American. This is, and the president has made note that this is not who we are, torturers, so to speak.
Well, there's a lot of things the CIA has done over the years. Like Buddy says, if the American public found out about the details, they wouldn't like it too much, okay? Now, you might say, well, it had to be done. Really? Who decided it had to be done? Did somebody in power in Washington, our leaders, decide it had to be done? Or did you just let this group of renegade folks go off and do these things kind of willy-nilly?
Well, and that brings us to the point of having the question: what then do you do to rein in terror? There have been reports that in May 2002, the following spring after the 9/11 attacks, that there was a second wave of threats, at least, of terror attacks within the United States, and that the administration at the time, the Bush administration, said, we've got to do something. We've got to do it right now. What then do you do if you're not involved in these hideous things like sleep deprivation,
Nudity.
Torture.
Nudity. That nudity thing.
wearing a diaper? If you're not doing,
Well, it's torture. Okay.
because this kind of torture is not pulling. This is not the Khmer Rouge, as some have said. This is not pulling fingernails out. This is not
It's
chopping
psychological,
off limbs. Godfrey
psychological
Leggett.
torture. What
It's
would help
sleep
is
deprivation.
if we knew where all the terrorists are in this country. Well, we can't know that unless we have a national ID card that's viable, that you can actually prove who an individual is. And by the way, if you had such an ID card, you could get rid of all the credit cards in your pocket. You wouldn't need them. Walk up to the gas pump, put your hand in there, computer knows it's you. You choose which account you want to charge it to, push a button, you get your gas.
I don't
Wouldn't
know.
that be nice?
Should we torture somebody so we can get that national ID
No,
card?
no, so we can
decide.
find where all the terrorists
okay.
that I'm convinced are in this country.
I'm sorry, I
If
lost
we,
it
if
for
we
you.
could get other governments to pitch in, a good, stable government doesn't want terrorists in their country, and they'll get rid of them.
Okay, more on the CIA and the other big issues of the day when we come back with a new panel. Stay close.